Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game So taking out a super fun and super exciting episode for you guys today because Cowboy Bebop Serenade of Reminiscence has been completely translated over to English and released by Sonic Man 69. And to say that this game was very difficult to play beforehand would be an understatement. While the overall beat 'em up mechanics and gameplay would make sense, this thing is absolutely chock full of story and dense with language, and you'd have absolutely no idea what was going on in the actual story unless you actually spoke and read Japanese. Well, now that's completely the opposite. It's been fully translated to English. It's an excellent translation filled with jokes and a lot of conversational English, and now brings another one of those deep cut hidden gems from the PlayStation 2 to the forefront. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. And it's absolutely no surprise that this was never brought over to an English language audience because honestly, I don't really think Cowboy Bebop made it that big in the US around this time. But if I'm wrong, you can leave me a comment down below because I always say I really don't know much about anime, just the games that they actually release. And as far as what Cowboy Bebop Serenade of Reminiscence is, it is a 3D beat 'em up, and it's a super competent one at that. I don't think it's going to reach to the upper echelons of beat 'em ups. It's definitely B+ tier, but it is a lot of fun. And honestly, with this story being included now, it makes a lot more sense and actually drives you to want to play the game. Because before, you could definitely play this, see the credits scroll, and figure out exactly how to play, but you wouldn't really know why you were playing in the first place. And considering there is a ton of story, and it does tie into some of the animes, at least from what I can research, this is definitely going to make the game that much more fun to actually check out. And this translation is absolutely spectacular. It'll work on real hardware or PCSX2 like I am playing it here. You just have to have a way to load games on your PlayStation 2 because obviously a stock PS2 isn't going to read a burnt disc or a file you feed into it. And I will say aesthetically and visually this game is very intriguing. It has a lot of fun cutscenes and a lot of fun setups for the actual beat 'em up mechanics. And you'll see here you're even going to have some shooting mechanics which maybe aren't the best on PlayStation 2, but you will get used to them. And the other thing is this game had a ton of different controls and a ton of different combos and options that would be explained to you throughout the gameplay, but because those would be in both Japanese spoken dialogue as well as kanji, you'd basically just have to guess what was going on screen with the button prompts. Sonic Man 69, a very fun name indeed, did an absolutely 10 out of 10 job translating this thing over to English. Every single menu, every single cutscene, every single direction in the game is going to now be understandable so long as you are an English speaker, which I'm assuming you are because you do watch this channel. And that is absolutely awesome. I love the dedication to all these translations, and honestly this is one that I've always been curious about what's going on in the game, because I'd say I probably played this from start to finish maybe 9 or 10 years ago when I was just going through some of the other games that existed that weren't in English, because I was playing a lot of Lupin the Third games, and honestly I'd love to see some translations for those as well. But this is just, again, so much fun to have another game like this. I feel like 2025 has generally been the year of translations, and having Serenade of Reminiscence is no different whatsoever. And again, as we go into this arena here, I love the visual setups for this. You have that gigantic dirigible or blimp just floating in the background. You're fighting in this basketball court. You have those little lens flares coming at the camera. It just looks absolutely stunning, especially if you enhance it with PCSX2, which I'm doing here in the Vulkan renderer. But leave me a comment down below and tell me, did you know this game existed, and if so, have you ever played it? And if so, are you a Cowboy Bebop fan? I think the only thing I really know other than it exists is it features a corgi, and I put my 2 corgis in the thumbnail because my wife and I have been corgi owners for like 15-16 years now. Fun little dogs that absolutely bark if we even so much as brush against them. They are definitely furry alarm clocks and home security systems, so if you're ever thinking about getting one, just remember you're going to ruin the peace in your house permanently so long as they do exist. But they are super cute dogs. Absolutely love them, and I know that Cowboy Bebop has them, which makes it all the much better to me. But again, the best part here is that you can actually understand what's going on when you're watching this story. So I'm going to give you a soundtrack sample with the overall English translation at the bottom. And I really appreciate that it is just the original Japanese voice actors along with that English translation, giving you exactly what you need to know as far as what's actually going on in the story is concerned, but still leaving that awesome voiceover. So go ahead and listen for 45 seconds. I'll come back, talk more about the game and the translation of itself.
おかえり。あー、疲れた疲れた。
まったく頭が痛いぜ。館内の清掃と破損箇所の修復、 逃げた魚の捕獲、一体いくらかかるんだ？そんなことより、なんか食うもんないか？腹ペコなんだ。
腹ヘリヘリ腹腹切り。
Hey, look, a corgi, and it wouldn't be Cowboy Bebop without that corgi. It wouldn't be my life without at least having one corgi in the house at all times. Now, I'm just showing you maybe the beginning areas of this game because I don't want to really spoil anything as far as the story is concerned if you've never played before. Although even if you did play before, my guess would be you still don't understand what's going on. But this is what's so great about Cowboy Bebop as a game. It has these 3, 4, 5 minute long cutscenes that set up basically every single level, what you're doing inside of them, and what is going on. And that's what I mean when I say you could play this game before and you could have fun, but you wouldn't really know what type of fun you were having. You'd be playing a 3D beat 'em up, but you would know the story was dense, and you'd have absolutely no idea what was actually happening. So this is one of those games, absolutely a perfect candidate to get translated. And as far as the technical process of the translation and how it appears on screen, all of the text presents in the proper formatting. It's got a nice kerning, and it all fits on screen correctly. So as far as just seeing the actual words spit up on your monitor, however you play it, you're going to be 100% perfectly fine, and that is always something nice when a translation comes out and isn't just effective and has conversational English, but has all of the proper formatting in the text boxes, so it really does look like a seamless experience. And the highest compliment I can give to any sort of translation is it feels like someone just found a lost and never released English language version of a game that never actually got released here, because that does happen every once in a while. And Serenade of Reminiscence has all of the vibes of just being completed by a professional translation team and just pulled before it actually hit store shelves in North America. That is high praise indeed, but that's exactly what Sonic Man 69 deserves here, because it really is just genuinely that good. If there's one thing about this game that I wish they didn't do as much of, but it does go away once you get within the first 30-45 minutes, is it does love to hold your hand and basically explain how to do everything. That is just an interactive cutscene right there, which showing you how to do combos in slow motion. So it's one of those things, maybe this kind of guides you a little bit too much. So if you're playing it and you feel like you just want to get a little further into the game, don't stop, give it 45 minutes to an hour, and I can assure you it does open up and become a lot more fun. And that's not to say that the initial areas aren't fun, they just kind of slow themselves down every once in a while and kind of drag ever so slightly. But the amount of vibes here for a Cowboy Bebop fan I'm sure are huge, because again, I'm not really the biggest anime watcher in the world, but I am aware of the franchise. But you get these really nice intermixed drawings along with these 3D models, so basically just giving you a little bit of the best of both worlds. And while I totally give you a soundtrack sample here, I know full well that is going to flag, but if you're a fan of Cowboy Bebop and you've never played this game before, this is going to be some really exciting news for you, because the amount of visual flair and just overall fun that you're going to see here in the images absolutely work. And seeing the Cowboy Bebop intro converted over into polygons on PlayStation 2, just absolutely straight up a 10 out of 10. But if you do watch Cowboy Bebop, leave me a comment down below and you tell me, is it something that I should watch? Because I've always been curious about it, but it's just one of those things. I've never found an anime that I stick with. I just always kind of get lost a little bit in the plot. But I am going to do another soundtrack sample, a little music and a little voiceover along with English to give you an idea again of what's going on with the story. And I'll be right back with a little bit more gameplay. Okay, I lied and switched the clip out there at the last second to give you guys a little bit more soundtrack and a little bit more sound effects, but honestly, Serenade of Reminiscence is exactly the type of translation we need, because there's tons of PlayStation 2 games out there in Japanese where you don't need to know what the hell's going on in the story, because the story barely even takes precedence in the game. But there's some games out there that absolutely are just driven forward by the narrative structure that you're actually seeing, kind of getting you into the action a little bit more, because without English you'll have absolutely no idea who you're fighting, why you're fighting them, or why you're even caring think about what you're doing in the first place, because the guest gameplay in the world cannot cover up the fact that you don't know what's going on in the story and you're just not that motivated. So Cowboy Bebop Serenade of Reminiscence now is 100% a game that you can sit down and fully enjoy from start to finish. So big thanks to SonicMan69 for doing this translation, absolutely needed, and I love all the translations we're getting in 2025. Leave me a comment down below and you tell me what your favorite translation has been so far this year. I would be curious. For me, it's probably getting Princess Crown on Sega Saturn finished up. But the link to the GitHub is down below. You can patch your image, play, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.